Hey, chiropractors, welcome to Modern Chiropractic Mastery with your host, Dr. Kevin Christie, where we discuss the latest in marketing, business, and professional growth with some of the leading experts in the industry. Welcome to another episode of Modern Chiropractic Mastery. I got a question for you. When are you going to be a pro? And it's something I've been chewing on a little bit. And it's, a lot of you are pros, right? So I'm not calling anybody out, right? But I do think as a chiropractor, as a professional, I like the term being a pro, right? It's it's a simple concept, but most people default to like a pro is someone who gets paid, and an amateur does it for love, right? But a professional um, does it for money, but this falls apart quickly. Plenty of people get paid for mediocre work, and plenty of unpaid people operate at an extraordinary level, right? So there's a little bit of a deeper meaning to what it means to be a pro, and I'm going to dive into some of that. But I just think about it as like if just not enough chiropractors are a pro. And if you all of a sudden became a CEO of Coca-Cola or you were a quarterback for an NFL team, you kind of have this mental picture of like what it takes to be a pro, what it takes to perform at the highest level. And why do we tend to shortchange ourselves just because we're a chiropractor, right? Why aren't we treating our business or our profession like you would if you were the CEO of a big company or professional athlete or an artist, right? Why don't we have that attention to detail within reason, right? One of the good things about being a chiropractor is we have a little bit of better work-life integration, and that's awesome. And we can, I think, be a pro and have good work-life integration. So let's dive into some of my thoughts on what being a pro means. One is a pro shows up regardless of how they feel, right? Stephen Pressfield, he has a good take in the War of Art, is that the difference is about resistance. Amateurs wait for inspiration. Pros sit down and do the work anyway, sick, tired, uninspired, or scared. The muse shows up after you start, not before, right? That line there, sick, tired, uninspired, and scared, yeah, that happens a lot of us all the time. And you still got to show up and you still got to be a pro. A pro has internalized standards. A pro doesn't need external accountability to care about quality. They hold themselves to a standard even when no one else is watching, even when they could just get away with less. The judgment that matters most is their own. Chiropractors, if your website traffic or Google Maps visibility has felt a little unpredictable lately, you're not imagining it. A lot is changing behind the scenes. AI is reshaping how search results show up. Competition in the map pack is getting tougher, and simply ranking well does not always translate into new patients. That's why Propel Marketing and Design is hosting a free chiropractic SEO workshop. You'll learn what's actually changing with Google Maps, how AI is impacting the way patients find and choose clinics, and what small, realistic updates you can make this year to stay visible and competitive. This is not a high-level talk or a bunch of jargon. It's a practical step-by-step workshop built for busy clinic owners who want clear direction and next steps they can actually implement. Save your spot for free at propelyourcompany.com/MCM SEO workshop 2026. And we'll see you there. A pro manages the emotional weight of their craft. Amateurs are devastated by criticism and derailed by failure. Pros feel those things too, but they've built systems and mindsets that let them process and continue. The emotional regulation is part of the skill. That one hits home for sure. Number 4, a pro takes full ownership. No blaming tools, circumstances, or bad luck. A pro asks, what could I have done differently? They're relentlessly self-responsible, not in a self-punishing way, but in an empowering one. I think too many chiropractors blame the profession, right? Everybody blames the profession. Doesn't take any ownership of their lot and where they're at. Just blame the profession. We know there's problems, but I also know a lot of pros, a lot of chiropractors doing very well in spite of those struggles. And there's just undoubtedly struggles in our profession. A pro treats their craft like a business, not a hobby. This isn't just about money, it's about intentionality, tracking progress, investing in improvement, being strategic about time and energy, treating commitments as non negotiables. And there's a real paradox here, right? You become a pro by deciding you are one. It's not conferred by a credential, a paycheck, or enough years in it. It's an identity shift, a decision about how you're going to show up. But most people are waiting for some external signal to give them permission. And so, what are you waiting for, right? When are you going to become a pro? And I think the other thing, right? Pros don't go it alone. There's a romanticized myth of the self made expert, the lone genius who figured it all out through sheer grit and trial and error. But when you look at actual pros across every field, the pattern is almost universal. They had coaches, mentors, and guides, often many of them. Michael Jordan had Phil Jackson, Serena Williams had her father, then Patrick Moratoglu. I can't pronounce that name. But even elite coaches have coaches. I'm a coach of chiropractors. I have my own coaches. I would never go without coaches. And I think coaching really helps accelerate the journey to becoming a pro. Some of the things about coaching that I think you need to consider is you can't see your own blind spots. Right? That's a big one. This is perhaps the most important reason. Amateurs operate inside their own perspective, which means they keep reinforcing the same patterns, good and bad, without realizing it. A coach stands outside your performance and sees what you literally cannot. The gap between how you think you're showing up and how you're actually showing up is often enormous. Right? A coach closes that gap faster than years of solo experience ever could. Let's take a short break from today's episode to tell you about the best decision I've made in my clinic in the last 10 years, and that has been adding shockwave therapy to our clinic. The outcomes have been really impressive. Certain conditions we were struggling with in the past, we're now seeing results with the shockwave therapy for that. And second of all, the ROI has been really good. When you make a big investment in something, you want to see a return, and we're seeing that return in clinical outcomes and in our investment, and that's been really nice to see. I chose Keenest Medical for 4 reasons. One is the technology is top notch. You have to have great technology. There's a lot out there that isn't quite up to snuff. The second thing is they have a really good clinical training. They have an exclusive partnership with Academy of Shockwave Excellence so that you can become clinically proficient in shockwave. You do need to get skilled at it. I think that's a big differentiator between practices that are getting great results and seeing the ROI is they have a great clinical aspect to that as well. So you want to get trained appropriately. Third is they have in-house service team for all of your technical support, which is key when you're investing in a machine like this. And then lastly, they have a very in-depth marketing and business support for you so that you can launch this into your practice effectively, that you can get that ROI on it, that you can get the clinical outcomes. And they also have really good financing options if you need that. So go to keenestmedical.com, KINAS medical.com, mention MCM podcast and receive a free shockwave in practice book with a purchase of a unit. So that's keenestmedical.com, KINAS medical.com, and mention MCM podcast. A coach compresses time. Going pro on your own means learning everything the hard way through mistakes, wasted effort, and slow feedback loops. A good coach has already made those mistakes, mapped the terrain, and can hand you a shortcut. They don't eliminate the work, but they make sure the work is pointed in the right directions. Years of wandering can become months of intentional progress. A coach holds the standard when you forget it. Remember, the pros internalize standard. In the beginning, you don't fully have it yet. You're still developing it. A coach holds that standard for you while you're building the internal muscle to hold it yourself. They believe in what you're capable of before you can fully see it. The external belief is a scaffold, temporary, but essential, right? So you want to get to that internal, but it takes a temporary external. And that scaffolding is something I've written about in the past. I'm kind of, working through this idea of being a pro on an article I'm writing. And that's kind of what I'm reading to you and going through it. But one thing I've talked about before is like your business needs this scaffolding, right? You need an accountant, you need a coach, you need this and that, and a clinical training. And then as you grow that, you can remove some of the scaffolding. And I just always love that scaffolding analogy. I want to tell you about something my clinic has recently integrated because I think it's relevant to much of what we talk about on this show. If you're maxed out and can't take new patients, or patients are getting better and just leaving, you don't have a clinical problem, you have a systems problem. That's what P2P Pathway solves for you. It's a model that takes your patients from rehab into ongoing strength and performance programming inside your existing practice using Tonal's AI-driven equipment. No trainer required, no separate gym build out. The result is recurring monthly revenue that doesn't depend on how many patients you can personally see in a day. They run live seminars where they walk you through the entire system, hands-on, in person. Attendees also get exclusive discounts on equipment, including Tonal, that you can't get anywhere else. Seats are limited. The link is in the show notes. If you're serious about adding a recurring revenue stream to your practice, this is worth your 2 days. So check out www.p2ppathway.com. A coach makes you accountable to your own commitments. Amateurs make promises to themselves and break them privately with no real consequence. Working with a coach means your commitments become real. Someone else knows about them. That accountability isn't about fear of disappointing someone. It's about the structure that makes follow through the path of least resistance. Pros build systems, and coaching is one of the most powerful systems available. A coach challenges the stories you're telling yourself. I tell myself a lot of stories. That's why I have coach. A lot of what keeps people from going pro isn't skill. It's the narrative. I'm not ready. I need one more credential. Who am I to charge for this? People like me don't do things like that. A coach hears those stories and doesn't let them go unchallenged. Right. And, the people who most resist getting a coach, frankly, are often the ones who need it the most. And I've noticed that, right? We have a lot of clients, whether it's our regular coaching programs or it's our mastermind, who have amazing practices. And on the surface, you're like, well, why would they need a coach? They know they need a coach because they're trying to get even better, right? They're trying to get even better. The moment you stop trying to figure out everything alone and start investing in the support that serious people invest in, and I think you really have to consider that. And it's just, no matter who you are, again, recently had Dr. Rob Pasala as a guest on my podcast, and he's had a remarkable career, a very successful career. He's still in our mastermind group. He's still looking for people to help him, and he's looking to help people as well. And I think you need to consider some of these ideas on taking it to the next level for yourself, because if you do this, you will gain the results that you're in your heart of hearts that you're desiring. And so consider it. If you think MCM could be a good fit for you, we'd love to have a conversation with you. Go to our website, modernchiropracticmastery.com, and let's all be a pro. We'll all do better for it. Professional will be better for it. Our patients will be better for it, and it'll be more fun. I hope you enjoyed this week's episode. And if you want to make the shift from busy, broke, and broken to time-free and cash confident, or you just want to continue with the exponential growth,
check us out at modernchiropracticmarketing.com. Look at the MCM Mastery tab, watch the short video on there, and check out what we are doing now for evidence-informed chiropractors. We are equal parts coaching and marketing done for you. Yes, you shoot some videos, we help you with campaign strategies and ideas and really become a thought leader in your community. You shoot those videos, you send them to us, we produce, edit, and brand them to you. Then we distribute them through all of your channels. We also take them and we turn it into one good blog per month. And every other month, we have Darcy Sullivan producing a robust blog with a topic that you pick from her database to help with your SEO. So we essentially become your content marketing agency to make sure your practice is always having ethical, elegant content marketing to help grow your practice. On the coaching side, we also help you with everything from marketing ideas to business, communications, finances, anything practice growth, and really try to help prevent you from being stuck on that island. And we hold you accountable. We have a great group of doctors that are just doing amazing things, and we look forward to help you out to take that next step in your practice. So again, check us out at modernchiropracticmarketing.com and learn more.